back. I know this is a little bit of a different setup. I'm not in my room because I'm on vacation, and I realized I have not filmed like a sit down video yet, and I do really want to start doing those. I'm gonna go through my favorite books that I've read this past summer and the books that I'm looking forward to reading or wanting to read this fall. Because I'm on vacation, I don't have my bookshelves. I have my computer with all of the books. So if you see me looking this way, I'm looking at my computer. I'm gonna put all the pictures of the books that I'm talking about up on the screen, and I'll also have a link below to them. I am an affiliate with Amazon, so if there's any books that sound interesting to you that you want to give a read, I have the links to all of them down in the description, and I should have like a little video playlist of all the books that are mentioned in this video. So if you ever want to know what I'm reading, all the books are normally in a link in the description. So let's just get right into it. One of the first books that I read this summer, I feel like it's kind of surprising, is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I really enjoyed this. I know that The Fine Print is not everybody's favorite of the Dreamland Billionaires trilogy, but I really like it. I enjoyed it. There were some, of course, things that were a little toxic in that trilogy. However, I still really liked it. I liked the banter. I liked the characters. I really liked Lauren Asher's writing. That was the first one of her books that I had read, so it was a good intro, I feel like, and it definitely was one of my favorites of the summer. The next one is Every Summer After. I forgot what her name is. Oh, Carly Fortune. And I really enjoyed this book. Now, something that I don't understand why more people aren't talking about is the fact that this book is literally a rewrite of The Summer I Turned Pretty, just an older version of it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because it's really not. Like, I really enjoyed it. That was one of the books this summer that I finished in one sitting. I was like walking around my house with the book open reading it because it was really, really good. If you don't know what Every Summer After is about, it's about this woman who leaves her hometown when she's younger and she has to come back for this big reason, and she ends up falling back in love with one of her childhood best friends. And it's just a really heartwarming but also kind of sad story. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was really short. I got through it really quickly. If you haven't read it, go read it before summer is completely over. Next on this list is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I absolutely loved this book. It was my first like cowboy western romance novel that I had ever read, because normally I'm really not for the western romances, but that just changed my mind. I really enjoyed it, and now I want to go read the Flawless series. It's about this girl named Clementine, and she's a bull rider, or not a bull rider, she's a barrel racer, and she gets hurt, and so she comes back home. She gets off the circuit, comes back home, and she starts talking to her brother's best friend, and it becomes this like little romance, and it's so cute and sweet, and I really loved it, to be honest with you. That was another one that I finished really quickly. It's super short. I know the second one is coming out fairly soon, I think, and I know that she's already writing the third book, so I'm really excited for the second one. I think the second one's called Swift and Saddled. Super, super good. Perfection. Next is Throttled by Lauren Asher. Now, hear me out. I know Lauren Asher's books aren't great works of literary fiction. However, they're really fun. And I had not read an F1 racing book before. I guess the summer was just the summer of me trying out new books and tropes and things that I just haven't read before, because I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. About this girl who has a brother and he's one of the top like F1 racers. She ends up meeting his like rival, and it's so good. It's so sweet. I love it. Although I will say the guy in that book like really irritated me for like the first 50% of it, and then it was kind of like a switch. He went from I don't really want anything with you to like, okay, we're doing this and we're doing it now, which I mean, like, I didn't hate, but it was just kind of like getting whiplash. So if you're okay with that, I would definitely read the book. It was great. I enjoyed it. The next I have, I actually just finished this, and I'm including it on this list because it was that good, and that's The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. But this is like Criminal Minds, but a high school version almost. Like, these kids have these weird, I don't want to say abilities because they're not like powers, but they have these gifts, and they end up getting recruited to be a part of the FBI to solve cold cases, and it's really, really good. Somebody described this book as Criminal Minds fanfic, and I haven't stopped thinking about that since, because it is really true. It's true. I can't lie. However, if you're into that sort of stuff, definitely read it, because I enjoyed it immensely, and I will be finishing the rest of the series at some point in time. The next one is technically kind of cheating because I haven't finished it yet, but hear me out. I know what's going to end up on this list anyways. Like, I know, because I'm going to finish it today, and I know it's going to end up on this list, and I don't have any regrets for that. But Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I am like almost 50% through with this book, and I can tell you right now, it is going to be a 6-star read, 10-star read. Just, it's going to be one of my favorites of all time. And who would have thought that reading about rich British people's drama would just have me eating it up? Who knew? Who knew? Me and this book, locked in. I brought Daisy Hates with me because I know I'm going to finish it and I'm going to want to read the next one. I just can't get enough of it. So enough about that. The next I have Binding 13, which I don't feel like is all that much of a shock. I did do a reading vlog on reading this book, so if you want to watch it, I'll link it somewhere. But it's about this girl named Shannon, and she has to switch schools. She ends up meeting this guy named Johnny, who's a rugby player, and he's kind of like the playboy of the school. But then of course she comes and he starts having feelings for her, and he's going crazy, and she's, you know, it's really good. It's really good. It's a character study. There's nothing like that really happens in the book at all. It's just kind of them wanting to be together, but her brother doesn't want them to be together. So it's a whole thing. I haven't read Keeping 13 yet because I'm scared, but I am going to read it at some point. I just don't know when. Okay, so the next books I'm going to include kind of in tandem, but it's the Addicted to You and Ricochet by Krista and Rebecca Ritchie, and I haven't been able to get them out of my mind since. It's about this couple named Lily and Lo, and they're technically fake dating, but they both have feelings for each other, and they're both addicts. They started dating to basically hide the fact that they're addicts and to keep it from their families and to have them not suspect anything. And they end up falling in love for real and trying to have an actual relationship. And it was really heartbreaking because it highlighted the effect that addiction has on relationships. And it was one of the most heartbreaking stories that I've ever read, and I had to take a break from it. The reason why I haven't finished the third book in the first trilogy is because it just got a little too heavy for me and I needed to take a break from it. But I will be finishing, I think it's Addicted for now. I will be finishing it. I just need some time before I do it. But yeah, those were all the books, all my favorite books that I read this past summer. If you guys haven't read any of them, please go pick them up. If you have read them, what were your ratings on them? I kind of want to know. Okay, so the books that I want to read this fall. Here's the thing. Not all of these are quote-unquote fall books. They're just books that I want to get read this fall, but a lot of these would be fall kind of spooky-ish books, so they could go into that category too. Just know that the ones that don't are on purpose. They're just books that I really want to get to sooner rather than later. The first one that I have is The Atlas Six by Olivia. I always butcher her name. I'm not sure what this is about. I've heard it's about like 6 witches, I believe. And that's really it. The cover's really cool, and I've heard a lot of people have good ratings on it, so I just wanted to give it a try, but I'm kind of useless for information. Here's the thing. I generally don't like going into books knowing what they're about. Like, I'll get the overall vibe of the books and I'll hear a little bit of it, and if it sounds interesting, then I'll read it. If it doesn't, then I won't, but I hate knowing the full synopsis. So most of these books, I'm not going to be able to give you the full synopsis on. I'm so sorry. The next one that I have is the whole Flawless series by Elsie Silver. These books have been talked about too much to not want to read them. I can't not want to read them. And I want to read them soon because Hopeless, is it Hopeless? I think that's the one. Just got released, like the cover reveal for it and everything, and I've already pre-ordered it. Yes, I bought all 5 books without having read the first one, but after reading Done and Dusted, I knew I was gonna like them. So I feel like I made a pretty good investment. And now, if I really enjoy them, I won't have to stop reading them. I'm thinking ahead. The next one I want to read is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that whole trilogy. Again, I've heard a lot of people talk about these books, and I really want to read them. I was just waiting until fall time to start them. I feel like everybody and their mother knows what these books are about, so I'm just not going to really talk about it, but I do really want to get to them, and soon. Okay, the next books, please don't come at me for not having read them yet. I tried way back when the first one came out, like years ago, and I just couldn't get into it. But now that there's a spin-off, I really want to get to it. But that's the Caraval trilogy and the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I really want to get to these books because I'm having a serious case of FOMO, and it is really upsetting. So I really want to get to them, and I will get to them. it just might take me a little bit. I think I'm just scared, to be completely honest with you. Like, I'm scared I'm gonna start it and I'm not gonna like it. Anyways, the next ones that I want to read, I know is a complete stretch. I know in here it's a stretch given the rest of the books that I want to read. However, I'm nothing if not delusional. I want to do an entire reread of the complete Sarah J. Maas universe. Now, here's the reason why. I feel really bad admitting this, but I feel like there's more of me out there. You guys just haven't admitted it yet. I haven't finished any of the series that she's written. I haven't finished Throne of Glass. I haven't finished ACOTAR, and I haven't even started reading the Crescent series. My excuse for not having read these books is, one, the tandem read for Throne of Glass has been kicking my butt, bro. I cannot get through Tower of Dawn. Like, I keep trying, and then I just want to beat my head against a wall every time I try to read it. And I feel like that is a sign that I should stop reading it. However, I really enjoy Empire of Storms. I just know if I read Empire of Storms first and then try to get to Tower of Dawn, I'm not going to finish the series. Like, I'm not going to do it. So, I don't know. I think I might just have to, like, do a 24-hour readathon to try to get these books done because, wow. Then my excuse for, I stopped on ACOWAR for the ACOTAR series. And that was because I got into a reading slump. Like, I got into like a 2-month-long reading slump and I just never picked it back up. But I got halfway through it and then I just stopped. Yeah, so that's my excuse. This is me admitting that I have a problem and I live with it every day. Okay, the next one is the rest of the Naturals series. I did just finish the Naturals literally like yesterday, but I really enjoyed it and I really want to get through the rest of the series. I think there's like 5 or 6 books out. And if I'm not mistaken, there's another one coming out. I really enjoyed the Naturals like immensely, so I'm excited to get to the next ones. I bought the next 2 in the series at the bookstore the other day. So I could finish them. I could start reading them on this trip. Who knows? But yeah, I do eventually want to get to those. The last one, and I know I'm on crack for this because there's no way that this is actually happening, but I want to read a Brandon Sanderson series. Hear me out. I read the Mistborn series and the Mistborn trilogy back when I was probably like 13 or 14 maybe. I might have been a little bit older than that because my uncle bought me the books on my Kindle and I read them and I really enjoyed them. I don't remember anything about them though. Like not a lick of information about those books. And since then I have acquired the books for the Mistborn series. And I also got The Way of Kings because Katie is reading, said that she really loved The Way of Kings, the first book. I really want to get through a Brandon Sanderson series this fall. I feel like fall is a great time to read his books because they're like super high fantasy. I think that's it. I don't know what else or what other reason I had for feeling that way, but that was the reason. Yeah, that's it. That's all of the books that I want to get to in the fall and all the books that I've read this past summer. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books. And again, all the books that I talked about, if you want to give a try or if you want to go ahead and grab a copy of your own, they're in the link in my description. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and I will see you guys in the next one.